Okay, we're live. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Can you see the chart here?
Yes.
All right, very good. So we have Nia. Is it Nia or Naya?
Nia,
Nia. Okay. When's your birthday?
March 16th, 1997.
Okay. What time?
9:16.
9:60 in the morning.
At night.
Night. And where?
Morristown, and then New Jersey.
Morristown.
Yeah, Morristown. You have right. And then town, and then New Jersey.
In Middlesex or in Morris?
Middlesex.
Um, 5 degrees Scorpio rising.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me just get some water. Okay. So, Nia. What is going on with you lately?
That's a good question. Working a lot, working out a lot, reorganizing my routines, resting a lot. Pretty relaxed, I would say overall.
Mm-hmm. So you said working a lot and working out a lot. Those are the first two things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Working out a lot. How come?
More just kind of doing like a restructuring of my workout routines. Um, that would probably be the reason.
Hmm?
I said that would probably be the reason. Just doing like a restructuring of like my routine during the day. So just incorporating working out more.
What spurred this?
Mm, I wouldn't say anything in particular necessarily. I think kind of going back, I was like super active as a kid, and then I feel like I went through a long period when I wasn't. So kind of just like getting back to that.
Uh-huh. Okay. Why is there a long period that you weren't?
I think just like adult life. Like when I was a child, I did like dance and cheerleading and tennis. I kind of had time to carve out those activities, but I think as I got older, other things just took more priority.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, yeah, there's actually something coming up already very strongly. Yeah. Well, I would start with just the Sun-Mars opposition. So you can see you're born when the Sun and Mars were exactly opposite. They're both at 26 degrees. And as a child, you said that you did dance,
Mhm,
cheerleading, and tennis. So immediately I got the sense that you were very active, doing many sports.
mhm. Many sports, many activities, like just like a full schedule of things, inside, outside.
Okay. So do you get that with the exact opposition between Sun and Mars?
A
Especially in the
little.
fifth and the 11th house, right? Because the fifth house is activities, fun, like sports. And Mars, of course, is someone who's like moving a lot. So that your life is like very busy. Like to your point, you had so many activities, you had a full schedule. So like always going. Sun,
Mhm.
Mars. Exact. Does that make
Yes.
sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. And then there's Saturn in Aries.
Mhm.
And that makes me think about two things. One, being very busy, like being on the go all the time. I guess we're going to talk more about that. And
Mhm.
two, that you stopped moving for a long period, right? Because Aries is that freedom of movement, like working out, being very active.
Mhm.
And Saturn prevents something, let's say, or keeps it for a long time. Because the first thing that I thought is it's your Saturn return in Aries.
Hmm.
So when you told me that you're restructuring your working out routine and incorporating more of it like you did as a child, this is what I'm seeing, the Saturn return in Aries.
Hmm.
Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay. So you're working out more.
Hmm.
Is there any goal that you set for yourself?
At least just to get some type of movement 30 minutes a day. I don't think I have like a huge goal in terms of like body structure, body type. I think it's more just getting a healthy routine. So just like incorporating some type of movement into my day.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. That's a really far way from the super active lifestyle that you had because now you're saying, yeah, just having 30 minutes a day. So that tells me that you really did stop moving for a long time.
Hmm.
Or?
Yeah. Like I feel like I always kept a busy schedule, but in terms of like actually, like doing things towards like my physical health, definitely stopped for a minute. I would say I did more kind of like yoga a lot,
Mhm.
but nothing like actually like Pilates or working out and different things like that.
Okay. So you said the other thing besides working out a lot is that you're working a lot.
Hmm.
Okay. What do you do for work?
So I work in influencer marketing, so doing like brand partnerships and deals for content creators. And then I would say that's kind of like my 9 to 5 work identity. But outside of that, I do a bunch of like writing, spirituality work, different things like that. I'm getting into like sound healing.
Do you still live in New Jersey?
No, I only lived there like the first year of my life.
Oh, and now
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay. Um, do you live alone
Yes.
in a complex?
No, like a house. Is that what you're
In a
saying?
house.
Mhm.
Interesting. Is your house a social place somehow?
No,
So you're not a social person in the
I would
house.
say not particularly in my house. I would say I'm a social person, but not in my house.
Okay, so that's about something else. I'm gonna be curious. Okay, so brand partnerships.
Mhm.
Can you help me understand?
Mhm. So like when a content creator is promoting like a product or a brand, I pretty much do like the deals behind that. And then doing like any strategy work for a brand campaign.
Mm-hmm. Can you give an example?
So if a makeup influencer is promoting a new product at Sephora, I would pretty much be managing that account. So it
Uh-huh.
would entail like giving strategy to a brand, scouting the creator, going through kind of like all the campaign process with them, and then monitoring the account.
Uh-huh. Okay. The fifth house is coming to spotlight for me pretty much because of your focus on the products and the brands and like the look, I guess. But the other thing you say is a lot of strategy. So strategy in terms of like right, because I've never done it, so it's hard for me to understand exactly what that means. Can you
Like
maybe
if a
Mhm.
brand wants to promote let's say like a new makeup product, kind of doing the strategy in terms of who are they targeting. like what age group, what type of women or men, and then kind of creating the concept on how I feel it would be most helpful or beneficial to garner sales. So, for example, I would say, okay, if you're targeting women from 20 to 55, here are the different type of creators you should use because of their target demographics. So, kind of just doing the strategy behind how I think they'll garner the most sales through which influencers.
Okay, now I'm feeling the Mars in Virgo in the 11th very much. Um, when it's about statistics, that makes me think about Virgo, right? You understand the gender, maybe their interests, what do they typically buy, like all the different demographics and the research that's behind dividing them into that.
Mhm.
And then it's in the 11th house because you're understanding like large numbers of people, like large groups, how they behave. And also, obviously, when you do marketing campaigns, you're doing that in the public, right, for the audience. And so that your work is there. For me, is very much Mars and Virgo in the 11th, what you described. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. Hmm. Do you like what you do?
Yes. I mean, I've been doing it for 10 years. I think it's kind of like riding a bike. It comes really natural to me. Do I think it'll be something that I do forever? No.
Okay, so that makes me think that perhaps you had that moment last year already,
Mhm.
over the last 2 years, in fact.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I literally woke up one day last year and was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do this forever." It was the most like random thing, and I've been doing it for, I mean, a decade at this point.
Hmm. Okay, because if we go back 1 year, like almost literally exactly, um, okay, you can see that Saturn was exactly conjunct your sun. That was all of last year, pretty much all of 2025.
Mhm.
And that's the end of a 30-year cycle and the beginning of a new one. And especially when it's Saturn to the sun, it's a lot to do with work and who you want to be, what you want to create in life. So that tells me that maybe around that time already the seeding of a creative project has begun.
Mhm.
So what is that if?
I don't know. I mean, I do have like projects necessarily. I think it was more kind of like my identity tied to my work, if that makes sense. And I feel like that completely kind of collapsed in terms of I tied a lot of my identity into work because I did so well in it. And I realized that mindset wasn't substantial or like what's the word? It wouldn't be like productive in like my later years.
Hmm. So, okay, but you're still doing it, and are you pivoting in any way currently?
I'm still doing it and I plan to do it for a little bit longer, but alongside that, I'm doing a ton of other things. So it's like I'm restructuring my day to make sure I'm fitting in, things that I do want to eventually do while also kind of doing like my mundane work.
That's interesting. So when you said you're restructuring also to include more fitness, I feel that as well. So it's uh-huh. So what is this about restructuring your days? It seems like there's a lot of momentum building for something.
Like in the past, I would focus completely on influencer marketing, and I might touch on a creative project maybe once every like couple months. Whereas now I'm doing something, if not every other day, almost every day, to going towards like my creative passions.
Uh-huh. Okay. Mm-hmm. So there's Saturn return in the fifth house in Aries,
Hmm.
right? Um, okay, so what are some of these creative passions?
I say like spirituality, like sound healing, writing, and I think some creative things.
What about dating?
No, just not interested like at all. Like it's so
Okay.
far down on my list. It's probably like the
Uh-huh.
last
Is it
thing.
during this, did you have dating disappointments in the previous years, or have you been abstinent for a while?
No, I had like a lot of disappointments. Like all of it just disappointing.
Uh-huh. Okay, this also makes me think about your Saturn return in the fifth. No dating at the moment. None. Focus on yourself.
Hmm.
Hmm. Did you have a disappointment like last year over the past couple years?
Definitely last year, definitely last couple last couple years for sure.
Okay, right, because Saturn was crossing your Venus the past 2 years, and especially last year.
Mm,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
that's interesting. I think I can definitely see that for sure, especially last year. I feel like last year was the year which I knew kind of like my Saturn return was coming. So I wasn't too surprised when I was surprised in terms of career because I thought it would be something I would always do. But everything else that was falling away, I was not surprised at all because it just didn't feel like anything I was interested into. So even like the type of people I was dating, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not even interested anymore. The type of it's just like how I was moving, like in dating. I wasn't interested in how I was moving day to
Mhm.
day. I wasn't interested in. So last year was just like a year where everything that was not like in alignment with me left. So it was like very a tough year. Probably it was honestly I feel like harder than like my actual Saturn return I'm going through. So I don't think yeah, I'm like if I could get through last year, I can get through a Saturn return.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So now that you see Saturn was on your Sun and Venus last year, does it make sense to you more?
Yes. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's, in my opinion, this is mine. I think it's harder when Saturn is in the sign of like your Sun and Venus versus like your Saturn return. I mean, it can be different for everyone, but I think that transit was way harder than what Saturn and Aries has been. I feel like Saturn and Aries has been more refreshing for me. I think definitely more day to day work, but it's not anything that I'm not used to, especially in terms of childhood and doing so many things and having so many activities. In some way, you do have to have discipline in your routine and your like day-to-day habits. So it's not anything surprising.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it makes me think about Saturn in your chart being on the cusp of your sixth house also and traveling towards it again already. Like how you keep repeating, focus on your everyday routines and restructuring your everyday routines to include more of what you want to do. Um, yeah, I'm intrigued by that Sun Venus conjunction in the fifth and what you said about how you were moving in your dating life. So has dating been I don't know, an important part of your life historically?
Yes and no. Like I grew up never really interested in relationships. I would say like up until like college. And I would find myself in relationships and they would be like very like short-lived, but like kind of what's the word? Just a lot, like very, very a lot of emotions, just dramatic. That's the word. It would be super dramatic. It might be short-lived, but they would be like very dramatic.
Hmm, dramatic.
Mhm.
Why?
Mm,
Were
I
you
don't know. Like, hmm.
well, I'm thinking there's a few things I'm thinking about. Um, yeah, why would they be dramatic? What would happen?
Uh, it would be like, oh, we're going good, going well, and then like something happens and now it's just like all of this drama. Or a lot of times it would be just like dating the wrong person, or thinking a lot of times actually it would be me dating people who just did not like me. And I just couldn't really see that because I had their potential just so much in my head that I would think that that was reality. So it's like when I kind of get woken up to, oh, this is not actually who they are day to day, it would be like super dramatic.
Interesting. It makes me think about Saturn being co-present with Sun Venus in the fifth,
Mhm.
right? Because the Sun Venus conjunction in the fifth, I see like infatuation, for example, like being so into your boyfriend and doing
Mhm.
things together, maybe, or going out and having fun together. And then Saturn makes me think about the in Aries, how quickly things ended. And that's always been like we never had a long boyfriend or partner.
No, it would like always end like very close to a year. I've never been able to make it like a full year, which is crazy to say, but it is the truth.
And there's no one now.
No.
But I imagine you would be really into like love and dating conceptually.
Yes, like in a artistic type of way, yes. For me, I kind of like if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, I won't feel like I missed out on a part of life.
Isn't there a lot of romance in what you do, like in the work that you do, just in terms like attraction, because you want to attract the customers, obviously.
I think marketing is and especially just the environments I'm in, it takes a lot of like charming and persuading for sure.
Yes.
So I think I can be like charming and persuading. I don't think necessarily like attaining a partner is an issue. I think the issue is like blending a partner with into my life. It's just not
Mm-hmm.
has never really been easy.
Mm-hmm. Integrating. Okay, this also makes me think about you being really into beauty, actually.
Hmm.
Yeah, on all levels.
Hmm.
Your hair, your nails, your clothes, fashion, perfumes,
Hmm.
visuals, visual design.
Hmm. Interior design, just like aesthetics,
Yeah,
but not like
aesthetics.
in a
Yeah.
superficial way, more like in a very like it's just visually appealing, if that makes sense.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, now I see the partnerships. Where do you live now?
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay. Mm-hmm. Ah, um, do you explore Atlanta, like the food scene and yeah, all there is to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm from here and I've lived like a ton of other places. So I think if I wasn't in a city that I know so much of, I would do that more. But I mean, I
Hmm.
still do that quite a bit, honestly. But I've lived like a ton of places, especially in my 20s.
Yeah, I also see like kind of like the party scene, party atmosphere,
Hmm.
music. Oh yeah.
Hmm. Love music. I used to party a lot.
Yes,
A ton.
partying. I see a lot of
Yes. I used to party a ton. Not as much anymore, more kind of like low key stuff, but yes,
bottle
majority of my
service.
20s partied.
Huh?
I said majority of my 20s I partied for sure.
Yes, totally. Hmm. Okay, but in your previous couple years, that was much less, the partying.
Hmm.
Yeah, you wanted to be taken more seriously and be with more serious people.
Yes.
Creatives, not people that are lost and abandoned.
Hmm. I
Uh,
would say like 2023 2023 into 2024 is when I started to notice the shift. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, everyone I'm around, I'm not really going to be around too much longer.
That's when Saturn moved into your fifth house,
Mm-hmm.
23 to 24,
Mm-hmm. I
right?
started
So,
taking everything very seriously.
okay. Yes. Uh-huh. Great. Hmm. I guess something had happened before that because Saturn was moving through your fourth during COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and during COVID, it was honestly, I don't know, it was a peaceful time for me. Like I'm Pisces, so I don't mind solitude, and I did not
Uh-huh.
mind being at home. And the fact that we had to be, I just was not. It didn't bother me at all.
Hmm. Do you read coffee?
Do I read coffee?
Yeah, I don't know, that just came up. Divination.
Oh yes, 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 yes. Like
Hmm.
tarot, oracle
Oh,
cards.
this makes me think about you having a like a deity, female goddess. Oh yeah, I feel goddess, some kind of goddess energy here.
Hmm.
Yemoya comes to mind.
Not familiar.
Okay, like water goddess because of the
Oh,
Pisces.
okay, okay. Yeah. And my chart is very heavy water.
Oh, what about the spa? Do you like to go to the spa?
Yes. Love the spot.
Mhm. Yes, and the
Absolutely love the spot.
sauna.
I used
Hmm?
to go with my mom as like a teenager, and then I would just like continue to go as an adult.
Yes. Yeah, I see kind of like luxury. Oh, brands, different brands, from different countries. Yeah, foreign brands.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
I love. And then I lived or I studied abroad.
Ah, and you're translating for them. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying I studied abroad in Italy in college. Yeah. And then I took a class on like foreign brands, different things like that. And I was just in love.
Yes, totally. Okay, I see you traveling like to different vineyards.
Hmm. I did a ton of that. Lots of
Mm-hmm.
traveling. I would say more when was I would say like before 25, I did so much traveling, like
Yeah,
so much traveling. And then I
yeah,
would say around like after 25, still traveled, but like not as much as I did.
totally. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I see you being interested in also like understanding, like I see you looking at different architecture.
Mhm.
Yeah, and trying to understand, so how did they make that? What materials did they use? Yeah, being curious about different countries, different cultures, different people, how they do things, asking questions from the locals.
Mhm. I'm always very interested in other people's walks of life, especially
Mm,
that have like nothing to do, with my own. So definitely, I remember like living in New York and talking to a lot of locals and talking to a lot of people, just kind of understanding just how they feel about different things. I'm definitely not one to shy away from a question. Like if I have, something on my mind and I'm out meeting people, I definitely, will ask. It's
yes,
usually not invasive. It's just usually about their opinion. I just love hearing different opinions on things.
from the business owners also.
Hmm.
Yes,
Yes. When I would party out a lot, I would meet like owners of different places, have conversations with them.
yes.
Somehow, like, would just find my way in conversation with them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I also see like being on the boat or on a cruise.
Love water. I spend a ton of time in water.
Yeah.
It's like I love the ocean, but I'm not a fan of lakes. I don't know. It's really weird. You think it would be like the opposite way around, but I love the ocean. I've done like snorkeling. Of course, been
Yes.
on the boat. I did cruises a lot as a kid, but not really as an adult. But I love like jet skiing, just like being in water, loving
Yes, jet
being in
skiing.
water. I think about it probably like once a day, like, oh, I really need to go to the beach. Sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, when you go places, I see you being very maybe not one to relax, more like to go and explore and find out and learn more. And yeah, just do what the people suggest to do.
Hmm. Like
Mhm.
curious. Like I'm always gonna ask like I don't know, like if I'm in a new country or like a new city, I'm more likely to rely on like people who are from there or lived there a long time and kind of asking like what type of things do you like to do? What are good places to eat? Or what would you
Mhm.
recommend? And then I'm just always very curious to go and just see it out. Like I feel like I'm a very curious person. So I'll spend a lot of times too, like reading reviews, where there's like
Yes,
restaurants, products. I'm like reading,
yes,
scrolling through pages of like reviews.
yes. Hmm. And leaving reviews also.
Sometimes I feel like if I don't have like if it's like super, super negative, I try and like not leave a review, but sometimes I will. But I need to get better with
Hmm.
like actually leaving reviews because I feel like I would have a very fair review to where whatever it is. And I'm not too nitpicky, especially when it comes to like services. I don't know. I'm not nitpicky, like, oh, they didn't do this, exactly to T and this and that. I'd probably be more honest on a product and say, like, you can skip this product. I wasn't really a big fan of it. But if it comes to like actual services, then I'm not really that nitpicky.
Okay, here I'm seeing something maybe about like the girls against the guys and how like as a subject in your life, like boys and dating and how they and yeah, something about that. The boys are not good at dating.
Mm, I feel like I'm trying to think. I feel like it's been either boys or men have been like really intimidated or like really friendly. I don't think it's ever just like a calm or like a simple interaction, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say overall dating has been a huge part of my life. Um, yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I think my relationships were pretty dramatic, but if I had to look at my life, I wouldn't put it top of the list for like monumental in terms of things. I wouldn't put it top of the list. It would be on the list, but I don't think it would be top.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you're gonna be pivoting away from doing the influencer marketing, what kind of piques your interest to do you see what's the next step for you?
Yes and no. I
Mhm.
definitely see myself like doing more spiritual work, but then also too, I think in some way I'll always do some type of marketing. Um,
Mhm.
a couple reasons. One, I have my degree in it. Two, it comes pretty easy to me nowadays, because I've been doing it for so many years. And I think it's just always good, in my personal opinion, if you feel like you're good at something, then why not kind of do it, even if you're doing it part-time or on a project base. So I think in
Mhm.
some way I'll probably up until a certain point always do something around that.
Mhm. Okay. More spiritual work. You know, when you say that, what that makes me think about is that Neptune is currently exactly conjunct Mercury. And so you said that just now, like you repeated a couple times that you're getting more into the spiritual work. And so you brought up sound healing in particular.
Mhm.
And what else in that domain?
Mm, I would say sound healing, spiritual guidance, whether that be through meditation, readings, affirmations.
Mhm. And would you say that's like you experience that now with more momentum, with more energy, with more dedication than before?
Yes. Hmm.
Are you having more like just organic insights
Yes. I
or
think more of
thinking
like,
more symbolically also?
yes. I think it's like more of a clear insight to, it's almost like connecting all of the pieces. So it's like, okay, you went through this in 2023 and you went through this in 2019 and this happened and this happened. Whereas now is this year, it's like all the pieces are like fitting in. It's almost like complete, it's showing me like a clear picture. Like you had to go through all these things to do all of these things to kind of get here, and you were always going to get here. So it didn't kind of really matter which path you took it in the past.
Okay. That makes me think a lot about your Saturn return again, right? Because that's the introduction into the new chapter of your life, kind of the big one. And so when you say like, oh, there's all these pieces and they kind of click together now, that makes me think a lot about the Saturn return, like waiting for something that you've been looking forward to for a long time, and just now it's kind of starting to peak out, right? Because your Saturn return will not officially be over until the end of this year, since Saturn's going to return to 8 degrees. Also, earlier when you had said that, oh yeah, for now, like Saturn and Aries is like it's been so refreshing, and I agree with you. And then I was thinking, oh, but soon he's going to retrograde, and I guess at that point we're going to get tired of it. I don't
Hmm.
know, that just came up for me.
Hmm.
Okay.
I can see that though. I think especially like with the last couple of years with Saturn being Pisces and like being able to maybe like rest more or kind of just get away with like not having as much discipline. But I feel like because I've gotten away so long without it, and I mean I'm still having, somewhat disciplined in the past couple of years, but now it's like, like every single day we're going to at least, do one to two things. We're gonna, adult, every single day. Versus whereas before I could get away with like, oh, maybe this random week I'll like do some adulting stuff, and then it's like back to like partying, like having fun and just like making money and like not really having to answer to anything.
Okay. Right. So that again is the Saturn return, right? Is what I'm hearing. Every day we're gonna adult.
Literally, is what it feels like.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's like refreshing. I don't know. I don't think I kind of felt it coming last year when like usually I'm used to things, even if they're not flowing, quickly, there is still somewhat flowing. But like last year, like nothing was like flowing. And I was like, oh, I cannot do this. So when I started researching more into Saturn and Pisces, I was like excited almost for my Saturn return. I was, ready for Saturn to leave Pisces because I feel like it
Hmm.
was just so clouded. So it's like not only are things not flowing, properly, things are going away. I just feel like very clouded in my thinking. So it's not like I can really even think my way into like a different path because it's just like so much going on.
Was that like spring, summer of last year?
Hmm. Yes, definitely spring, summer.
Yeah, because the Saturn Neptune conjunction was exact on your Mercury. So that makes me think about you being overwhelmed at that time. What
Hmm.
specifically with? Like what was happening in that period?
Like I was changing like agencies I was working with. I was moving. I was going through like health issues. I was getting like really bad migraines. So it was like a
Uh-huh.
bunch of things at like one time.
Okay, so do you see, so the migraines,
Hmm.
right? Aries.
Hmm.
and that you're changing agencies. So when I hear that, what that tells me is you were used to doing things one way and talking to people that you knew, and now all of a sudden you're in a completely different environment. So it's like, yeah, being in a foreign place. Is it like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like used
Okay.
to, especially like with work, like used to so many like things in one way and in one environment for so many years. And then you're like put into a new environment where like, you just aren't
Mm-hmm.
like meshing well with the energy.
Yes, I see. Uh-huh. Okay, and from then on, you kind of, so you've been onboarding since then, basically.
No, I'm sorry. I was leaving like that one to go to another. So like going from like not feeling like it's an environment for me. And so I left that, but I started that agency in spring. And then I left them December, maybe.
Oh, that was quick. Okay.
Mhm. Yep. And then I fell in love with like another one and went to them.
Uh-huh.
And then that energy was like more consistent to what I've known for like 10 plus years. So it was like that little moment in time where I'm just it was like felt completely like a fish out of water in every single area of my life
Was that like in January, February
of last year,
this year?
where I found a new environment.
Yeah.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense now. Because you can see the Saturn Neptune conjunction was exact on your Mercury in February. Right. And so that makes me think about you beginning a new journey at a new agency that you feel good at, right? Because the Saturn Neptune conjunction is like a once in a 40-year cycle. But
Hmm.
of course, it's never going to come on top of your Mercury again. So this is like a very special moment for your Mercury. In fact, for all your placements in the fifth house. So that for me is why you went through a period of like, well, you changed agencies, you didn't like it, right? That for me is also the Neptune Mercury very much. It's kind of like weird energy. You don't know what's going on. Everyone's talking, but you don't know them. Just like being
Hmm.
confused, right? Being out of your wits for a period.
Hmm.
And yeah, and then starting like this huge new thing.
Yeah, I feel like I started like my creative projects around that time. I started getting really disciplined in my routines, my
Hmm.
workout. And then yeah, that'll probably be around the time like mid to late February. I was getting like super serious about like everything. And then like I stopped drinking alcohol, I would say last year, December. So like up until that point, I was starting to kind of my body was starting to, start to like feel more like free or easy, in terms of like working out. Like I didn't feel like
Yeah. Yeah, so again, that even makes me think, like in December, Saturn stationed on top of your sun in Pisces in the fifth house. Right? So you've been drinking, drinking, drinking for a while, and suddenly Saturn stations on your sun. You're like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And then you said in mid-February, well, February 14th is when Saturn entered Aries. That's when you started getting really, really serious, right? So actually, your Saturn return officially began in the middle of February.
mhm,
Okay. Hmm. Does that all make sense?
absolutely. Because that's how I was in December. I literally woke up and I was like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna drink anymore. It was like super, super fast.
Yeah. Right. Saturn sobriety. And also, it's about how you show up in the world, the drinking.
Hmm. I will say a lot of people super close to me lately have been like, oh, you seem a lot happier. You seem a lot this, like you seem a lot, I would say like within the past like 2 weeks. So going from like December to now has been like huge in terms of not drinking, going to bed on time, like meditating more, regulating my emotions more, kind of just being like a lot more clear in my mind. Whereas like last year, I was like, I don't know what's going on at any point.
Okay. Yeah, that makes me think about the whole year last year, Saturn transiting your sun, Venus. And now you're finally out of that. You're pulling out, and people are like, wow, you look so much happier. And of course, Saturn's not on top of you.
Right.
And like Neptune to your Mercury makes me think of because again, you're saying like, yeah, I'm doing more meditation. Right. I'm doing more spiritual work. And so there I feel how that's taking off for you as well, suddenly. Um, when you began at this new agency, so that was in February. So what is kind of the situation there?
Compared to like my last one.
Well, more like in terms of like what are you doing? What's your new project? What's the new idea?
I think I'm like more supported. It's a lot more people and it's more structured. So it was where before I was kind of just like throwing a dart like in a dark room. Now I have more of a rule brick. I have guides, I have resources, and more of
Mm-hmm.
like a clear picture on my objective and like what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that you're in a more structured place
Hmm.
is the Saturn return again, right? Has a rule book, has guides, has references, clear picture of your objective, more people and more structured. When you said it's more people, I was thinking about how Pluto is moving towards a conjunction with your Uranus and Aquarius. Because when it's lots of people involved, that makes me think about the Aquarius, especially. In
Hmm.
fact, that's why I had asked you if you have a social home, because of your Jupiter on the cusp of your fourth house in Aquarius. Actually, I'd like to understand a bit about that. Um, oh, of course. You lived in many different countries.
Hmm. I've lived in a lot of different cities, and I've lived in one different
Yes.
country.
Yes, different cities. Okay, so there's a lot of different cities that you can call home, right? That you
Hmm.
know. And I guess you have contacts in those places also.
Hmm. And then also to my family is in so many different places as well.
Yes.
So like I have family in like New Mexico, and then like I have family I could go visit in Michigan, family in Texas, and then family in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And
I've
there's
lived in like Houston, New York, Chicago.
the big cities as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Very attracted to like larger cities like Chicago and New York. I love like the hustle and bustle and like public transportation, being able to like walk places. I love like a walkable city.
Yeah. There I'm feeling Jupiter, living in big cities with the hustle and bustle, with all the people around, with all of humanity, everything around you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think I've always been before in the past, I would be like, I don't understand like how is having Jupiter in the fourth house like good? Like, oh, it's just, at home and everything. But then I realized like, oh, you've lived so many different places. And I have very rare experiences where I've lived somewhere where like I just absolutely hate. And I've usually been able to move out of it like fast or make a correction fast. But for the most part, I like my home to be like super comfortable. Um, and just like very relaxed. So that's why I would say I don't think I'm very social in terms of like my own personal home, but I feel like I am a social person.
Mm-hmm. Um, oh, interesting. Are you part of any of the communities?
In terms of like groups,
Yeah,
sometimes I feel like I'm a group floater. Like
a
so,
group floater.
yes. So it's like I'll try different groups, maybe like different social groups. I want to get more into it, like doing like a walking club or like a running club or like a
Yes,
tennis club.
exactly.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes. That is what I feel. Okay.
But I think more when I was younger, I would say. part of a ton of like communities. So when like in high school and college, I did a ton of different groups, clubs. That was like huge theme in my life. Then as I got older, probably got a little bit more reclusive in terms of groups in general.
I
Um,
guess that would have been around 2020, right?
mhm. Yes, actually. Yep.
Because that's when Saturn entered Aquarius and
Hmm.
conjoined your Jupiter shortly thereafter.
I went from being like super social, event, doing this, to kind of like every now and then, like very rare. And I would even say
Hmm.
in terms of friends too, like I would always kind of be like a group floater, like, oh, I'd have these groups of friends over here and these groups of friends over here and this over here and this over here and this over here. To whereas now it's like definitely a restructuring of what I would consider a friend, and then also to what I would necessarily like require out of people who I would say are like friends.
Hmm. Are you very educated and coming from a very educated family also?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like college is a huge thing, like going from like
Mm-hmm.
my great grandparents like down.
Yes. Were they somehow known in the community, your parents?
Yeah, I would definitely say my dad for sure. He came from
Yes.
a really big family and he was the
Yeah.
youngest. And then he was really good at like basketball. And then he went off to college and he's definitely very well known. And he comes from a smaller town though. So it's not like a huge city like Atlanta. It's like a very small town. So I would say he's pretty well known. And then my mom, I would say very well known in like her communities, like her social, you know, and then both my parents went to college together. So they were probably, known in that community.
Okay, that makes me think also about your family being kind of a very social enterprise, meaning
Mhm.
lots of people, lots of relatives, lots of family friends traveling together, people coming to the house, just so much movement.
Yes. Tons of like, it's almost like I'll have like this random family member up here and it'll be like 10 people, and then this random family member over here, and like tons of family friends, um, who I would say would be even more, have had more like of an impact than necessarily someone I'm like directly related to outside of my.
Mhm. Okay, that part. That some of these people had more of an impact on you, Jupiter,
Mhm.
than even the closest relatives, Aquarius, right? So that makes me think about all the distant people that are around you having an impact. They're very close to you because it's on the
Mhm.
cusp of your fourth. Hmm. This also makes me think about you being like a team player. Like for you, your teams are like a big thing to be a part of the team.
Mhm. I like cohesiveness and I like being like everyone being on the same page.
Hmm.
And I like more like working towards things for the greater good, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
I don't like huge disagreements or like arguments or any type of like negative energy in like group settings. Usually I
Hmm.
like kind of just shy away from, you'll always have family members who might not align the best with you. So I always shy away kind of like from those. Like I'll be super distant from them.
Were they in the religious community as well? Like in the church?
Definitely my great grandparents and my dad's parents, so like my paternal grandparents, but my parents I wouldn't say were like overly religious or like forced me to be religious or anything like that.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
church was like a huge, I say like part if I look at it from like a familiar structure.
Right. Okay. And the church community also.
Hmm.
Yeah, and all the people from the church.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they might not know me super closely, but they'll know like my grandma,
Yeah, and I
or
feel like you were favored also by all those people. You got to know a lot of them and be like receive favors from various people actually. Yeah, opportunities, help.
Mm-hmm. I would say as a child, I would get tons of different, whether it be like, oh, I know someone who works here, you can go take this internship, or I can write you this letter of recommendation, or oh, I have this dress I can't fit. Like, I think it'd be perfect for you. It would just be like very random, moments of like, oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Right. So getting things from the whole community, like having so many people kind of helping you in your
Hmm.
goal. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is what I also felt like you're that kind of communal person, meaning for you it's maybe important to create something that many people can benefit from.
Hmm. Like I've done a ton of like charity work and like volunteering. I did
Yes.
that a lot in my childhood.
Uh-huh. Hmm. Do you live high up now?
No, I
Or
actually
or
hate heights.
you hate heights?
Hmm.
Okay.
That's like the one thing I do not like. I'm not a fan of heights.
Uh-huh. Okay. Are you part of like a neighborhood association in wherever your house is?
Like an HOA. Hmm.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
don't know much because I don't own a house, so it's hard for me to imagine what's happening there. Of course, I'm just looking for the Aquarius again. So I'm thinking,
Hmm.
okay, so the house maybe is a part of a communal, some kind of
Hmm.
set.
Like a communal space. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Like getting like involved in some type of like if I see something like, oh, we're doing this fundraiser, can you X, Y, and Z? Then yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, let me see if I can. I'm very quick to hop onto like a fundraiser or some doing something for the community. I'm always kind of looking for like avenues to contribute to that.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Especially like anything with kids, which I know is gonna come up because like I have a fifth house stellium. So like anything helping out like kids or like scholarships or kids fundraisers,
Uh-huh.
something revolving like kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the youth. Have you ever been like a school teacher? No, of
No,
course, you've been working all the time. Okay. I just
but
saw
I've
lots of
been
littles around. Hmm?
I've been a what do you call like a vacation Bible school like instructor. So they'll have like in the Christian community, they'll have like a week of like classes and
Yes.
stuff for kids. So I've done that 1 year.
Yes, exactly. Brilliant. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm. Okay, let's pause here. All right. What did you think about that?
Great. It was very, very cool. I think you're very insightful, very knowledgeable about astrology, and I loved how you made it super conversational. So I think what you are doing is very, very cool. I have not seen it done that way before, and I watch a ton of content on astrology. So I think what you are sitting on is really, really good, and I think you should continue it. And I'm excited to follow along. I think it was really cool.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wow, that was a lot of positive energy. Thank you.
Yeah, it was cool. I've never seen it done like that before.
I know. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. It's very interesting, right? As soon as you go in and you kind of it takes a little minute to kind of dive in, and then once you're there, it's like there's so much
Mhm.
to look at. Okay. Good. I'm going to stop recording, and then you and I are going to talk for just a couple minutes.
Okay.
And okay. So to anyone that watched, nice to see you, and until next time.